And with me, I have three amazing speakers from all over the planet. We have Leea from Wisconsin, just north of
Hi.
Chicago. We have Blaise Depallens from Geneva or Lausanne,
Yeah, Geneva. Hey.
Switzerland. And we have Venkatesh from India. All right, so let's dive in. Can you introduce yourself a little bit, Leea, please? What is it that you do?
Well, I did several things before the isolation. I worked as a teacher trainer where I would go around and teach teachers all over the United States about digital curriculum and how to work with students with their digital curriculum. I also teach students individually online, and I'm a writer. I have a novel published and several that are out in the works.
Okay, what's the title of your novel?
The novel is called Backbiters. It is a young adult dystopian novel. So dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with right now in our somewhat dystopian global experience.
Wow, interesting. Backbiters.
Yes.
As in biting your back?
Well, I don't want to give too much away. Because when you read it, you won't want to know too much. But it's a more literal translation of the word backbiters. It's actually a slur for the people that live on a certain nation land in what used to be the United States.
Ah, interesting. So it has a historical background.
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay. Is it available on Amazon?
It is.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Oh, thank you so much. I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
All right. Leea, and what about you, Blaise? Where are you from?
Hey, so
share with us today.
So I'm from Switzerland and Lausanne in particular, and I believe in a world in which we wake up excited and inspired to do what we love and go back with a fulfilled heart to the people we love. And what I do is I help people find their uniqueness and turn it into a meaningful business so that they can have purpose and meaning into their career.
Ah, nice. Super important that you do what you love. And what are you going to share with us today?
So I'm going to show you 4 quick steps to have a vision and discover what you need to embrace. What's your uniqueness?
Okay, cool. Thank you. And Venkatesh, this is your second time around. What is it that, tell us a little bit about you, for those who haven't before.
I'm an IT professional by day job. I run a travel IT startup company with customers being airlines and airports. And I'm a coach by passion and hobby. That's something very close to my heart, which I've been doing for about 3 years now. And I currently, because of the time available, I'm trying to bring technology and coaching together. And soon I should have an application that introduces coaching to somebody who keeps asking, what is coaching? Why should I do it? So that's what I'm currently working on.
Okay, an app that is actually selling coaching? I mean, in terms of why is it important?
Yes, currently. So, for example, the app would ask a bunch of questions based on the Enneagram. You know, we've heard of what is the Enneagram. It's a personality profiling tool like the DISC profile, like the MBTI. This is yet another personality tool. So it builds a personality type of an individual, and then based on the personality type, you ask which of the following topics would you like to discuss, all automated. Wow. And the person picks a topic, and then you challenge the person saying, how would you normally react in a situation like this? How would you like to react in future? What is the impact on X, Y, Z, depending on their profile? And then the application would say, hey, you want to know more? Would you like to take this to the next step? Talk to a coach.
Ah, and then you connect with coaches who are relevant to the person?
Yeah, it could be an option. I've not reached that stage yet. So my first intention is to develop something like this, because I would like this tool to be extended to a lot of people, and I'd be putting it up on the internet for free.
No.
And I don't know. Let's see. So that's what I'm currently working on, because with this lockdown, I have some time on my hands. Let's say.
Okay, good. You're probably not alone with time on your hands. Cool. Let us know when it's live, and we'll go into. All right, so let's welcome a couple of people here. We have Tiffany, Rachel Dahl here. We have Caroline here, Mollis, and Walter Schmidt. Welcome. So again, please ask any questions if you have any to any of the topics that we're going to cover. And we're going to start with Leea. Can you, what is it that you would like to talk about today?
Well, thank you so much for having me here, first of all. And what I would like to talk about today is a project I'm working around. It's a working title of Global Insights. That might not be the final title, but this actually grew out of my experience with my students during this time when the pandemic first started. I shouldn't say when it first started, I should say when it first came to the US media, when we started hearing more, when my students started telling me about it, my students from all over the world. And of course, I felt stress and concern, and I didn't really know how to process it. And what I did is I asked my students to write their experiences, whether it be in a form of poetry or prose, that we could share with each other. And when they did that, I found it so valuable for myself. As I read it, as oh, I'm feeling that too. And they really helped me name my emotions and process them and understand how much we were all going through the same thing. Even though we might have a different point of view, our emotions were the same. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to continue and try to let it grow and get more thoughts, feelings, experiences, insights from people all over the world. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm collecting this to give people the opportunity to read what other people are experiencing, and just different experiences, but basically the same human reactions to the global pandemic and the near global isolation that we're all going through. And I now have a publisher that's interested out of California. I won't mention yet because we don't have a contract, but I'm hoping to get it published so we can share it widely, because I think it's something that will be valuable for humans anywhere that are having these experiences.
100%. Yeah. So what the format is that whoever wants to participate, is it still open for people to send in their stories?
It is open for submissions. So I'm collecting and purposely, I'm not excluding this to writers. I do have some fabulous writers, some professional writers who have contributed, but also our youngest contributor is 4 years old. At this point, our oldest is 83. Just what are people experiencing? So what we do when they submit is if it's already in a format that works, that's great. If it is just some wild ideas, I help them format it. I've had people who speak all different languages. I've had people submit in different languages, and then I try to take that and just some very light polishing to help it flow with the tone of the work and get their approval and add that. So you don't have to feel like you have to be a professional writer to be part of this experience. So yes, I am still accepting more entries.
And what did you say the youngest was? How old?
4 years old.
4 years.
Yes. She got a little bit of help from her mother in transcribing her thoughts, but her mother said, "How are you feeling with this experience?" And she talked about it, and actually a 4-year-old and then a 6-year-old brother, and they both wrote down their thoughts about what was happening. And when you read it, it's very insightful.
That's very cool. Super cool. So if you're interested in joining this project and just submitting your I think half a page, you said?
If it's poetry, light, spacey, airy, a page. If it's heavier prose, at a half a page. And I cannot promise anyone that they will be included in the final work. That will be a discussion between the publisher and the others involved. But at this point, and I think it's a valuable experience, whether a person's work ends up in the final book or it does not, because I find just writing my feelings down, expressing myself is beneficial, and just being part of the experience. And I've had the other writers express that also, that just the process of writing helped them access their feelings and understand what they were feeling in a very confusing time.
Yes, yeah, totally agree. So if will we will you make this available for us if we send in our half a page or our poem? Will you make the other ones available to us to read as well, or how does that work?
Well, originally, that's such a good question. Thank you. Originally, that was how it worked. Send it to me, and then I'll send you what everyone else has written, and we've read them all and experienced them all. And but now that I'm in negotiations with a publisher, they have asked me not to do that and wait until the final work comes out, so that everybody doesn't have the entire work that they would intend to publish in the future.
Wow.
It complicates things a little bit. It changes the activity a little bit, but I think having that opportunity to reach even more people in the long run will also be valuable. So we're giving something up, but I think also possibly gaining quite a bit by the new association.
Wow, very nice. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. We have
thank you.
Here we have Katie from the Netherlands and Estelle from Germany, David from Las Vegas, Aloha. David is asking, what am I watching? Very good question. You're watching the Focus Show. This is a show about sharing positive experiences and strategies around this crisis. Mostly coaches, consultants, experts, teachers from all around the world. We just heard Leea from, your part of the globe. She's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, exactly.
Yeah, so if you have any questions for Leea about this project, or if you want to contribute, you can reach her out. And that's amazing. I'd love to get a copy of that book once it's published.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for her, or any of you, Blaise or Venkatesh?
Yeah, so are you taking especially the feelings and trying to know how people react to this situation? Is that the main focus on your work?
Honestly, there are all different types of reactions. I have some doctors who have given taken a slightly more clinical view, and then I have people who are simply expressing their feelings, and I think it is more valuable. I really don't need anyone else to say wash your hands and stay home. I think that at the very beginning that was a valuable place to start, and I have some of that. But I think at this point, a little more personal, either something specific that you've experienced or something in your community that's happening that other people don't know about. Or maybe they do. Maybe they're having the same experience, but they don't know they're having the same experience that you are. So I have asked people to dig a little deeper and talk about what they're feeling and what their specific experiences and community experiences have been.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great, because I think we're all living the same situation, but we react so differently, even if it's the same situation, because we have all different lives and background. And I'd love to see your book.
Yeah,
Blaise, that's a really good point, and there were some things that I didn't think as I was when I was first experiencing this, and then I saw some recurring themes, actually very positive themes that really lifted me up. When I read, I'm like, wow, these people are going beyond the immediate panic, and they're seeing some more positive, and of course, we have people who are suffering. So I don't mean when I say positive to try to ignore that there are people who are suffering quite a bit from this, but there are those people who are experiencing some benefits from it, being with their families, etc., and willing to share that. So
yes.
Yeah. I think it's once I was having a very deep conversation with a colleague during a coaching exercise, and the learning was fantastic for the two of us. He himself concluded that there are no good or bad feelings. Feelings are not necessarily good or bad. Feelings are feelings. We are humans. As humans, we will experience different feelings at different points in time. And it's very important, in my view, the way I look at it, is very important to acknowledge the feeling that I'm going through, whatever I may be going through, a high, a low, a period of depression, a period of extreme happiness and excitement. And at a pandemic, at an unprecedented global time like this, where there is pandemic and unsurety and lack of predictability worldwide, we can't predict what the world is going to look like in 3 weeks from now. All bets are off. I think it's very important what you're doing. I think it's a fantastic service to humanity in general, where we share these feelings, and when we share these feelings, when we share these experiences, we realize that we need to have a different perspective on life and our interactions with nature and with other people. Many of us are rediscovering ourselves and the world around us. And when somebody like you puts this together across boundaries, I think it adds a tremendous amount of value. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Feelings are feelings. 100%. I love that. Malice Schmidt says, yes, and different feelings. Where is she? Yes, different reactions and points of views and insights, and all about sharing is caring. Yes, nice. Dave, you're saying you're doing a similar thing, a brand live life to the fullest, which is also about positivity and motivation. Maybe we should talk. Would you like to be guest in one of the shows one of these days? So this is what happens. This is kind of like creating a ripple effect, and similar with the focus shows. So all those different coaches and experts sharing their point of view, their strategies. Some of them are very much alike, but very different, still the same, because everybody has a different angle and shining the light from a different perspective. Cool, very cool. All right, what did you bring, Blaise? Blaise wants to share. You wanted to share 4 steps to your mission.
Yeah. So thank you for taking me for today. I'm so grateful to share this with all of you guys. And it's kind of what we just talked about with Leea. For me, this time, what to do with this time we all have now, and we all had, because situations are moving right now. And it took me 10 years to come up with that process with my personal experience. And I think this time was, and it still is, the perfect time to look inside, to know more about what we want to do in our career path, because the employment will definitely change after this crisis. And I think it's the right time to ask ourselves the right question. And sometimes we take more time to plan our vacation than our future and career. So that's why I want to share that with you guys, to give you just a couple tips to getting started and unstuck if you feel stuck in your situation. So the first tip I want to bring you is find a compelling vision. And I think it's very important to see and paint the picture of where you want to go with your life, because it will give you direction and purpose. And it needs to scare you just a little bit, because if it doesn't scare you, it means it might be too easy. And I think the right way to approach it is to do something you dream, but scary you. And that's what I did in the past, because I realized my dream to travel the world for a year in 2016. And I was excited because that was my dream, but I was scared because I was by myself for 1 year. And once you go through the fear, you're gonna find what you are looking for, which is passion and excitement. Mm-hmm. So this is the first one. Just try to draw a compelling vision that excites you in the future. The second point is to follow or discover your passion, because passions might be the starting point to give you direction. If you don't know where to get started, try to follow something you love doing. It could be sports, it could be art, it could be writing, it could be whatever is good for you. And I think
discover your passion, Blaise. How do you have any tips on that? How do you?
Did you say how to find your passion?
How do you discover? So for example, I like horseback riding. How do I know if this is a passion or if it's just a hobby?
I would say if you when you do this activity, if you lose track of time and you come out of it alive and with a lot of enthusiasm and joy, it means that's something you're passionate about. That's what I would love to describe it.
My horses are very tame, so I come out of it alive.
Yeah, so probably that's how to identify your passion. But if you don't know where to get started, I would suggest just to try different bunch of things and get out of the comfort zone, because that's where you discover the magic.
Okay, Katarina also asks. She says, especially when you have a lot of passion, what do you do then?
When you have a lot of passion, I would suggest to take the top 3 and draw 3 circles passion 1, passion 2, passion 3, and try what's in the middle that brings together all your 3 passion. It could be a starting point.
For the
And something
overlapping gap,
yes, exactly. So that could be something like that if you have like a lot of passions.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Step number 3.
So step number 3 is to uncover what I call your SAT. So what is SAT? Is strength, ability, and talents. And I think sometimes we undervalue what we do normally because we think it's normal to do something, but it can be a talent. So try to find out what your skills are, what your talents are, and what you're good at. If you don't know where to get started, try to ask 5 people around you that know you very well. It's going to give you a starting point to uncover the skills and talents you have. Because passion and vision is good to start, but it's not enough to make it a business.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the marketplace, what is valuable are the skills you bring to the table.
Right.
So it's very important to know your skills or know the skills you wish you had and develop them.
Right. So it's SAT, strength, alignment,
strength, talent, and what is the A? I forgot the A. I got a blank.
Ability.
Abilities. Yeah, abilities.
What's the difference between the 3?
I would strength. I would say something in you that is makes you who you are. It could be you're a good storyteller, or you're a good speaker. Abilities, I would say, is more about skills, what you learn, what your background is. Maybe you learn to draw, to I don't know, business, accounting, whatever you learned, even at school or by yourself. And talent is things that you do normally, but you think it's not something good, but it could be something useful for you.
Right. Okay.
What come easy to you, but complicated for others that would love to know how to do that.
Okay, so let me backtrace. So first of all, paint a picture, a vision of what you would like that company to look like.
Yes.
Secondly, then you're going to just discover your passion.
Yeah.
So when you're saying what would that company look like, you mean in terms of, do you have a team? Is it a big company? Is it an international? Is it small? All kinds of metrics as well.
I would say the vision could be around your company, but as well on your life. Because if you have something, maybe you want to buy a house, I don't know, in California, and that's one of your dreams, and that could be a compelling vision that keep you going forward, even if it's not related to your business you want to develop. Okay. But it's gonna push you if you think about it.
Okay, I see. So paint a picture of not just the business, but also the lifestyle attached to the business.
Yeah, exactly, the lifestyle attached to the business.
Nice. Okay, then discover your passion, and
yes,
discover what you're really good at. And
yes. And the last point is try to figure out if there are causes you are willing to fight for. It could be big causes like climate change, defending the rights of animals, freedom of speech. These are big ones, but it could be smaller ones that I don't think about now. But find a cause that really resonates with your heart deeply, and find out if you are willing to fight for them. And it could be, it's not necessarily, you don't need that part, but it could help you find your meaningful business.
Okay.
And based on these 4 points, the idea here is to brainstorm some ideas and problems that you can identify in the marketplace so that you can bring an offer, a product, or a service to help people resolve a problem. And that's pretty much how I proceed with my customer and my clients.
Nice. Nice. Yes, I love the brainstorm. 2 minds are better than 1, and 4 minds are better than 2.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. So what are the questions? How do I find my true talent, and how do I turn that into? I think it's very noisy.
Yeah, it's a bit noisy.
Sorry again. How do I find my true talent? How turn it into a business? Okay, I think that might take a little longer to answer. Can you give a quick answer for that?
Yeah, I would first try to take a piece of paper and write them down what you think it's your talents, and like I said, ask your people around you that know you well That could be as well a good start. And try to figure out different activities that you could do. It could be a good start. And if you dream to develop a skill, just go after it. If you want to learn how to dance salsa, just try it, and then you would see if you love it and develop the skills.
Okay, very good. Very good point. Ask people who are close to you. All right, so if there are no more questions, let's see what Venkatesh has brought, apart from your super cool app that's going to come to the market. Is there anything else you would like to share with us, a story or a quick strategy? Oh, you're muted still, sorry. Let me unmute you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so before I do that, just to respond to Katarina, I think what is useful could be two things from a coach. One is, in the coaching world, there is this wheel of coaching where you put different aspects of your life in measurable visual ways, and then you balance things out. So that could be a very good exercise to try with a professional coach to see which of your passions needs further investigation or thought. That could be one idea. The other one is most life coaches, they like to have a deep dive and an exploratory session so that the coachee gets to examine him or herself in a deep way, a kind of a self-discovery that the coachee doesn't do usually. So two of these exercises could actually help a coachee to discover himself or herself at a very deep level, and also to use tools like the coaching wheel to put things in some kind of a visual perspective so that they could clearly identify the areas that they need to focus on. So that's just a quick response, my response to Katarina. Coming back to your question, a couple of years back, around 3 or 4 years back, when I was 20 years old, I'm joking. I was about 46 or something at that time. And suddenly I discovered that I would like to start running as a physical activity. And this is after something like 23 years of a sedentary lifestyle without practically any kind of a physical activity, any intense activity. And I discovered that because of my flat feet, I would eventually have problems. And a lot of physiotherapists, they discouraged me against it. And then somebody literally mocked me left, right, and center, somebody very close to me and is still close to me. And I decided that come what may, I'm going to end up doing at least a half marathon, if not a full one. And so I focused on it. I went to a lot of professional sports doctors, for example, and eventually one of them told me that even though I had flat feet, I would never win an Olympic medal at this age, but I should be able to put together a decent half marathon, provided I took care of X, Y, Z things. And we did a lot of tests. We did things like testing the gait to see if my legs pronated, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so Venkatesh, what's the lesson here?
The lesson is what you focus on expands.
Okay.
There was a positive intention on my part to do something tangible despite my physical deformity. A flat feet is the physical deformity. There's no way around it. Okay.
Right.
But then I worked on it to ensure that that physical deformity and the late start at 47 years of age to start running is compensated by a few other things, like the right pair of shoes, like the right trainer, the right coach, the right routine, and so on.
I think the point here is, Venkatesh, you did not believe when they said you can't do it.
Right. And my goal wasn't to win Olympic medals. I did come second in my age category at an event, though, at an amateur event, so that did happen. But I think going back to what we've been discussing always in the past, if we put the right amount of focus, you just take this take this little shape in our finger, right? Keep it far away from us. And then we keep looking at it, we keep bringing it closer, so then it expands, it starts expanding.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think focus is something like that. The more I pay attention to it, the more I dwell on it, the more positive energy I spend on it, the better is the outcome at the end.
Thank you very much. We have one last question I would like to take. Urs says, what are your experiences in terms of sport activities to support you in your business? Do you have any take on that, Blaise?
Yeah, I do. I do sports pretty much every day. I go running every morning once I wake up, at least 5 to 10 minutes for a small warm up, and I try to go 3 to 4 times running every week, just to have like pretty much a good run, a good sports run around 7 to 10 kilometers. So that's how I do. Sports is part of my life. I've always been practicing at least 4 to 5 times a week. So it's very important to me because it gives me the strength mentally and physically to have the energy to keep going.
Right. Very good. Thank you very much, Blaise. Yes, for myself as well. When I do live trainings, it's very, very energy consuming, standing on stage for a day or 2 or 3. And you need to be physically fit for that.
Yeah.
What about you, Leea? Are you also into some physical exercise?
Yes, and as by far the oldest person in this group, I can say that it doesn't matter what age you are, physical activity is still going to have a positive impact on your life. You know, they talk a lot about all the endorphins that are released, but just that time alone, that mental clarity it gives you, the health benefits. And I think I try to do a lot of different things, from yoga to running to dance, to have a really wide variety. So I don't think it matters exactly what you do, as long as you move around and you're concentrating on that. It's a type of meditation. So I'm with you all on that.
Thank you. Yes, and physical activity is it affects all your other states, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual state. If you're doing a physical activity, positive one. Good. Very good question. Thank you. All right. So let's end this round. This is really good. Incredible show again. Once more, thanks to you guys. And thanks to our audience here. A whole bunch of them still watching. Wow. A lot of people on today. Marlis says, good example on what you focus on expands. Yes. So let's end this with, what's your absolutely favorite thing during this Corona crisis right now? Just one word if possible. And put it in the comments and we'll put it up on screen here. Anything you can think of, just one word. What's your absolutely favorite thing? 1 or 2 words. I'm challenging you. Go ahead. Not everybody, please.
For me,
are you asking us? I thought you were asking the audience.
You guys and
Okay, so I'm gonna go first. For me, it's learning, because I'm just taking advantage of this time to keep learning, keep sharpening my skills. So learning is the word for me.
Learning. Okay, very good. Yes. What about you, Leea?
Thank you. I'm gonna jump in. For me, I'm gonna say too, poetry and FaceTime. I think poetry has really affected my spiritual well-being, and FaceTime, because I can see my family, and I guess this is a kind of version of FaceTime. I can meet with all of you, and it keeps that connection going. So poetry to look inside, and FaceTime to look outward.
Okay, very good. Thank you. What about you, Venkatesh? What's your absolutely favorite thing?
For me, it's quality time with myself and also with my teenage daughter.
Quality time. Very good.
With myself as well as with my daughter.
Yes. Thank you. Marlis says nature. Yeah, 100%. Let me put that up. Nature. And what I'm going to say is home office. This is a little joking because I usually work from home anyway. But I mean, right now I'm not even doing live trainings anymore, so I'm home a lot. Finally get to utilize my home. And Walter says, practicing. Practicing. All right. One more. Christelle says freedom or being centered. Life is more centered. Less appointments. Yeah, it's true. Freedom. I love that. All right. A lot of good words we have across the street now. Positive things around this crisis. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing all this. Leea from Wisconsin, Venkatesh, India, Blaise from Lausanne. And next show will be on Monday. And on Wednesday, I have a special guest from the USA. One of my teachers agreed to do a special show. It's going to be at 4:30. A little later because she's from Arizona and 9 hours back. So that's a little early for her. So stay tuned. Love to have you guys. And thank you very much.
It was a treat.
Bye-bye.